And welcome back to Open Your Eyes. We're moving now into our second segment for the morning. It is a fun Friday, a packed fun Friday, that much we can tell you.
Yes.
And this second segment is all about Heritage Education Network Belize, as they give us a recap of their digital literacy training.
Yes.
And in to tell us all about it, we've got Sylvia Bate, who is the co-director of Heritage Education Network Belize. We've got Timothea Mesh, who is the San Antonio Women's Cooperative, a representative of there, and Leonore Requena, my neighbor, PG's Livelihood Program.
Yes, good morning, ladies. Good morning and welcome.
I must say, I am loving the colors and I love the energy.
Thank you so
That's what
much.
I can tell you.
It's a fun Friday.
When we hear about Heritage Education Network, for a lot of people, it might be puzzling to understand what are we talking about there. So I'd like to jump to that. What are we talking about with this?
All right, what are we talking about? First and foremost, we're an NGO. So we are a non-governmental organization. We're very, very small. So we have 4 core members. We launched in 2020 in the middle of a pandemic. So this was as a response to a lot of the challenges that we saw right as soon as COVID hit.
Okay.
The organization is led by 4 female archaeologists. It just happened to be that way. We had 4 energies come together to make this NGO. And part of the reason why we launched was because really early on, we realized that there were community groups, organizations, people that we had worked with, like Miss Mate, for example, who's sitting here. And we realized that the work may look different because the pandemic really did disrupt it. And we came together and we said, how do we pivot to continue what we have been doing to make something better in the middle of a pandemic? And we use what was accessible to us, Facebook, free tools, Instagram, and we put a whole bunch of information and content out there. And almost not even 2 years later, we're here with our first fully funded training program. It's our first project and our first in-person event as well. So I'm super excited about that. A lot of firsts for us.
I want to bring in the 2 lovely ladies that we have in studio this morning, who were participants of the digital literacy training program. Ms. Requena, since you're sitting next to me, I want to start with you. Can you talk to us a little bit about the PG's livelihood program and why were you interested in the digital literacy program?
We started a women group last year in April because of the pandemic, and we got material donated by the Taiwanese government. I was around PG and I found out a lot of women, they were complaining that they didn't have anything in money, they didn't have anything to do. So a group of ladies that has a sewing business, we decided to come together, and invited people to attend the meetings, and we saw the enthusiasm that they had. But we didn't have any sewing machines. So we borrowed sewing machines, and that's how we started our group. And the ladies had talent. Then I was talking to Miss Sylvia about the little problems that we had in selling our stuff. And that's how it came about that,
You're doing this program.
I did the training, and I will tell you guys, you did an excellent job. I have learned a lot. At my age, I thought I know a little bit of Facebook and photography, but I tell you, you guys open up my mind to another dimension. And I really, really appreciate it, and I will, share it with everybody that passed by to tell them that, if you guys have another workshop, that they should register.
Ms. Requena keeps saying you guys to me because I also co-direct Heritage Education Network Belize with Sylvia and 2 other phenomenal archaeologists. But we thank you so much for your support. And I am still amazed at how fast they were able to grasp so much information in 10 days.
Wow.
10 days. So the program had its wits, but the resilience of the participants, I think, was the most amazing thing for me.
Yeah.
But I want to also move it on to Ms. Timothea Mesh, who is the representative of the San Antonio Women's Cooperative. Tell us a little bit about that and then your experience with the digital literacy training.
Thank you, April. Thank you, Sylvia, for inviting me here. Yes, I have been working with the San Antonio Women's Cooperative. Actually, I am one of the first persons who were from the beginning in the 2001. We have been working for a very long time. As Ms. Eleanor said, we started just as any other group, gathering ourselves and finding out things to do, practicing recipes, practicing crochet stitches, and then we came up with embroidery. During the time that passed, then a lot of years has gone, but time passed, and then we saw that culture was very important. Nowadays, we're focused on preserving culture. We have set up a little package that we do there. It's not much of making profit of it, but it's because we want people to learn about what we're doing.
Yeah.
San Antonio is recognized as a Mayan village, and so we are very aware that even though we're rich in culture, we still have that threat of losing a lot of it. And a lot of it we have been losing as well. So this is what we're focused on doing now. And what we have set with the women's group now is that we're working in 3 main projects, which is the preservation of food, making embroidery, which is traditionally what ladies make. And as you speak of Mayan ladies, what comes into your mind is about all those colorful embroidered blouses and dresses.
Indeed. And I see them here.
This is something that we're doing with the San Antonio Women's Cooperative.
So this is one of yours.
That is one of our pieces that we have there. And we also are working with pottery, which is mostly known in the Mayan history. So we're trying to revive this kind of art again. And by doing this, we're trying to help ladies as well, for them to have a little job to make an extra income for their homes. The difference on our pottery that we're doing is that we're doing it all natural. We're not using any kind of pigments. We're not using any kind of glazes. We're trying to use all natural material, local material, to make our pottery that we have here.
This is lovely.
Thank you very much.
One of the things that I saw a while ago on the screen was also, and I guess you could tell us about this, Sylvia. I also saw some men doing some artwork there.
Well, it is a women's group, women's focused training, but as Ms. Mate or Ms. Leonor would say, while it might be something that is focused toward women, or a women's group might be grounded in women, for any successful organization to move forward, you need the help of an entire community. And that one might be your own circle and the people working with you, but also the people around you, buying from you, selling from you, supporting from you. We have the lovely Frank Sib, who is a wonderful, energetic youth, who also does embroidery. That is traditionally seen as a woman's task in certain community and cultural groups. And what you're seeing is really, when you have a drive and a passion to preserve your culture, when you learn cultural traditions from your parents and your grandparents and your forefathers and your ancestors, the preservation is what matters, and you see culture change and become dynamic. So even though it's a woman's role traditionally, men can be artistic as well.
Yes, and colorful.
And you know what? Women's role does not mean it's easy work, because some of the work where you have to do, it's hard work to be making clay pots and stuff like that.
That's not
to
easy.
get your clay to the consistency, and a lot of muscle goes into that.
But I wanna come back to Miss Rakenya because I like that Miss Mesh talked about the 3 different entities, right? Projects. So I know Miss Rakenya, you said that you guys do mostly sewing and retail. So I wanted to this one is from Miss Rakenya's group. Yes?
Yes.
This sewing ones. But you make for men and women.
Okay, we started teaching the ladies to make sheets, curtains, and bags. That's
Okay.
where we started. But we had some other ladies that knew embroidery, so they continue on with their embroidery.
Okay.
And these are the products that one of them made.
Yeah. Are you mostly looking at art that is traditional? You do any kind more abstract art on your clothing, like Miss Mesh, or do you do a little mix mash of?
Well, we do
Everything.
a little mix match. But what we're trying to do is to give our ladies and even men the skills so that they can be creative in creating their own designs or their own stuff then. Like,
Yes.
for example, I will give you the shirts is, mestizo.
Yeah.
You have different embroideries that they put on it, the different stitches that you can use,
I like that you said the embroidery is mestizo, but it shapes like a dashi.
like a dashike.
Oh, that is such a wonderful association of culture. I love it. I
Yes,
love it
indeed,
so much. Is that
indeed.
PG?
yes.
Oh, that's wonderful.
And it's something that I come from PG and we have different cultures there.
Multicultural.
And even myself, I would tell people either rice and beans because I have a mixture of things. And
A lot of stuff,
our group mainly is to encourage people, women, to get together as unite themselves so that we can produce things and they can make money out of it then. And I'll give you an example like what I'm wearing right now.
I love it.
I really love what you're
Okay,
wearing.
this is a lady, Albertina Shaw made it for me. But I asked her that I needed a design of my inheritance, my parents, what they did.
heritage.
It tells a story. So here it tells a story. My dad owned boat. He used to fishing and he used to hunting. That's the way he used to make his livelihood.
yeah.
So it tells a history. And I combine the indigenous with the mestizo. So we create something new.
Yeah.
And at the same time, we're expressing our culture.
Yes.
And, a melting pot, I love that thing because
Indeed.
Belize is amazing. And with all the resources that we have, is to unite people so that we can uplift our country then.
So let's talk cost because you've got some lovely products here. So let's
Yes.
talk about the cost of put that you sell these items for.
Yeah.
Before we even go to that, my cost question would be, how much would you pay for something that is hand stitched, that is unique, that's one of a kind, that is literally only produced, one village, one community, one district,
How much are you're asking
How
me?
much would you? How
All
would
right,
you
so
value
point
that?
out. Okay, good. So make we go with this dashiki.
right.
This mestizo dashiki.
How would you value unique handmade one of a kind?
All right, unique handmade one of a kind. I'd put this somewhere around, and you know what? I wouldn't even wear it. I'd put it I'd frame it, and because this is unique, somewhere around $200. This right there.
Wow.
I'd say $200 simply because these are hand woven. This
You
takes
can
time.
feel that it's a
takes time.
handmade
This takes time.
completely,
The
yes.
material is genuine. The cuts are genuine, and they're done by hand.
It takes time.
This is blood, sweat, and tears here. This would be
takes
like
time.
$200-300.
All right. So when we're talking digital literacy training, what did we actually do? Over the course of 10 days, we taught people how to tell their stories in their own words on social media, because the digital world is there and it's free. Social media is there. Facebook is there. Instagram is there. You have your reels. You have all of this digital technology right at your
Right at your
fingertips
palm,
on
yeah.
your phone. And I've personally noticed with the pandemic, we are really seeing a push where Belizeans are buying things that are made in Belize.
Of
They're
course.
building that home economy, right? Now, Miss Mate has had the San Antonio Women's Cooperative for 20 years.
Over 20 years.
For over 20 years, Miss Leonore for 2 years. None of these persons were on social media. So when you're buying Belize, when you're buying products that are made in Belize, how do you find these products, these sources, these unique handmade things that are made right here in Belize? Now, your answers, a lot of times people look on social media. There are like 200,000 Instagram users in Belize for December.
Wait. 200,000
I know, I checked
Instagram
the
users in Belize?
You have Instagram?
I checked the statistics.
You have Instagram.
Facebook was 30% more than that.
Okay.
So, like close to half of the population was on social media, and a lot of the things that people look for are these types of things. So over that 10 days, 10 really, really jam-packed intense days, I think by day 5, some of these ladies were like, you know what, this is a lot. We took our participants and we were like, this is how you tell your story. This is how you design your logo. You know what, Canva is there, it's a free resource. Let us teach you how to use this free resource that's there. How do you take a decent photo? Because you know angles and selfies and all of them, they work.
That work, yeah.
But how do you take a photo off of your phone? Because not everybody has
The skill.
not a skill, but also not everybody has a DSLR camera, like a fancy camera.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's all you have is your phone, and you can do really, really great photos off of your phone and throw on a leaf filter on there, and it'll look good. But also, where are you going to share that?
Yeah.
What captions are you going to use? How are you going to get people to say, huh, I like Sidat, but
Yeah.
I want to click on it. I want to engage with it. I want to react to it.
Which-
That is what we were looking at.
Which leads me, because we don't have much time, but I'd like to jump to both of the ladies and ask, how did social media, or how is social media helping you, especially with your sales? And where can we find your product?
Well, well, our product, you can find it at the Mirta Creaciones in PG, Main Street. And you can call 605-50 at 1.
But now you have an Instagram.
So what Instagram name we
What
should
is
look
it?
up
Yes,
for?
what is the Instagram name?
Empower PG.
Empower PG on Instagram.
Empower
And that's where you
PG.
see the products and you could actually make your purchase and whatnot.
And then we have a Facebook page, which is under PG Women Livelihood Program, that you can see our products, and we post, we're trying to post every week.
Okay.
And like I said, this workshop is, the workshop is amazing. Now I can design my own,
Logo.
logo and
That was
everything,
her design, so-
Oh, that's right there.
Yeah.
And I didn't know anything about it.
And they did reels and TikToks.
Yes.
Reels on Insta.
Reels on Instagram.
Yes.
They
Oh my
did.
goodness.
And QR codes.
Yes.
And it's not
They learned to
QR
make
codes.
QR
I don't
codes.
know how to make QR codes.
And of course, and you guys, where can we find you?
Yes, we can be found in San Antonio, and now on our Facebook page, we have our location set. We have a phone number. On Facebook, you can find us as San Antonio Women's Cooperative. On Instagram, you can find us as Pottery Belize. So we have this, and believe me, as we set the page, like after 5 days, after 5 days of the training, then we had some customers contacting us through Instagram.
Wow.
And I mentioned this on the training as the other day when we opened. Then the other day, some customers were messaging and saying, "Oh, the pottery, we want to buy from you. How can we find you?" On Saturday, we had our first customer just reaching by finding the location on Facebook. We have been there, but we haven't had all this
Sales successful.
sales through
Yeah.
social media.
Nice.
And thanks to HNB that they invited us. They encouraged us, as she said. We have been there for a very long time, but that fear that we had of using these
Platforms.
platforms,
Yeah.
yes, then we finally were able to do
Yeah.
this through the help of attendee.
Man, I really and truly, you know, it's
I'm
a
sorry.
wild feeling.
I'm so excited.
You know that time is not on our
Yes,
side.
but
so,
Sylvia,
yeah.
the closing event and then wrap up.
Yes. All right. So the closing event for our training is today. It is not open to the public. We will have it on social media, though we're, you know, with COVID numbers, we're keeping it low. But what we will have is our 10 wonderful participants, our 3 scholarship students. They are bringing their products, and they'll be on social media, they'll be online, they'll be on Heritage Education Network Belize's Facebook page, our Instagram page at Heritage Belize as well. What we have built here unknowingly is another strong network of people in different areas who have all of these products. So we already have Heritage highlights on our social media. You will be seeing more of these ladies on our social media, more of their groups and more of their products, but also, you know, we are building that strong network, and we're so happy that we're meeting everybody else because the training was virtual. But yeah, we're closing off, and we would like to thank, before we leave here, our sponsors as well. So this training was sponsored through the Republic of China Taiwan Technical Mission in Belize. So that's the International Cooperation and Development Fund. So thank you to ICDF Taiwan for the funding that made this possible, that made us able to reach a wider network as Heritage Education Network Belize. Because we are doing these things for free online, but you know what, when you can sit people in a training, when we can actually, you know, manage to pay our lecturers, pay the young professionals who took the time out, took vacation days, work weekends to teach and deliver this. It goes a long way, not only in helping women's groups and cooperatives, but also in valuing the work and contribution of young professionals. Because with young professionals in Belize, they really do need to have their contributions valued, to have that space, and financially as well. Because we could say thank you, but when you say thank you so much, this is what it's worth. That goes a long way for young professionals. So thank you so much, Taiwan ICDF. Thank you so much, OIE, for having us. Thank you, Ms. Leonora and Ms. Martin, for being such wonderful participants.
But it is a fun Friday, and we need to throw it out there. We're talking about culture. Who sing "If You're Bandy, You're Bandy"?
What did I say?
Who sing "If You're Bandy, You're Bandy"?
I'm putting people out there.
You give up?
I can answer the rest. Yeah, I give up.
Macaroni and
What are you looking at?
we need to go. We need to take a break. We need to take a break. When we come back, how can you win $50,000? My goodness, the Rotary Club of Belize. I want to tell you when we come back. The Rotary Club of Belize will be in with us to tell us how Rotary Club of Belize Sunrise, how you could win $50,000 when we come back.